Welcome back, listeners, to Sandman Stories Presents. This is one of the children's books that I'm reading for the series. It's called The Goop Directory of Juvenile Offenders, famous for their misdeeds and serving as salutary example for all virtuous children, by Gelette Burgess. If you would like more information on Gelette Burgess, the man who came up with the word blurb, listen to my other recording entitled Goops and How to Be Them. This is going to go through a list of weird children doing weird things, and Gelette Burgess did all the pictures for it, so there's different writers for each section. But it's basically bad kids and how to not be like them. Okay, let's begin. Introduction. In this directory, you'll see just what you never ought to be, and so it should direct your way to good behavior every day. The children of whose faults I tell are known by other names as well, so see that you aren't in this group of naughty ones. Don't be a goop. Marmaduke Argyle. A goop that always makes me smile is this one, Marmaduke Argyle. His mouth is full from cheek to cheek. Why should he then attempt to speak? It makes me smile, but still, the fact is, it is a most unpleasant practice. Nancy Beale. On the sidewalk, Nancy Beale throws her old banana peel, throws her apple skin and cores, right in front of people's doors. Isn't that a shocking trick? Ask that goop to stop it quick. Master Bildad. A puppy, when he gets a bone, will keep it for himself alone. So Bildad would not share his toys or lend them to the other boys. He was a goop, and so are you, if you are ever selfish too. Percy Bing. Percy Bing, when he's at play, is almost always in the way. In the room or in the street, always under people's feet. Goops like that annoy me so. You keep out of the way, I know. Betsy Birch. Look at little Betsy Birch, always whispering in church, always playing with the books, never caring how she looks, never knowing goops like her ought to neither talk nor stir. Levi Bowing. Are you a goop like Levi Bowing? He never looks where he is going. He is always bumping into chairs and stumbling when he goes upstairs. He tips things over, bumps his nose. He can't be careful, I suppose. Mary C.C. Call. Mary Carey Cory Call. Hear her cry and hear her bawl. Hear her groan and hear her growl. Hear her moan, hear her howl. She's the goopiest goop of all, Miss Mary Carey Cory Call. Little Coralie. The Coralie was small and sweet. She always had wet feet. She liked to walk through puddles so. She always had a cold, you know. But as you aren't a goop, you try to keep your tootsies warm and dry. Andrew Crossett. Have you heard how Andrew Crossett meddled with the water faucet, letting water flood the sink? Andrew was a goop, I think. Otherwise he would have known he should let such things alone. Annabella Day. How slow is Annabella Day. She's so reluctant to obey. She acts so sluggish and so sickly. Oh, Anna, why not do it quickly? Oh, Anna, do be prompt, and then no one will call you goop again. Gwendolyn D.V.D. Witt. Miss Gwendolyn de Witt is having such a sulky fit because she couldn't have it her way with other children at their play. A sulky goop I really call, as bad as those who cry and bawl. Adolphius Elphinstone. Adolphius Elphinstone of Natchez thought it was fun to play with matches, until the little goop had learned it hurt a lot when he got burned. A little fire is queer and curious, but soon it grows quite big and furious. Amanda Fish. If there's sugar in the dish, who will take it, Mandy Fish? If there is a box of candy, just look out for little Mandy. She goops the fruit and leaves the peeling. She calls it fun. I call it stealing. Frederick Fisher. Freddie Fisher fairly fussed when he came to eat his crust. Often on the floor he'd throw it, hoping mother wouldn't know it. Goops all hate to eat the crust. If you're told to, then you must. Ezra Hecht. What in the world would you expect of a Goop whose name is Ezra Hecht? Of course he would refuse to heed, or mind his mother, yes indeed. Of course he would, of course he did. You must do what you are bid. M and B Hopper. Mother always is distressed if you fidget when you're dressed. If you fidget like Miss Midget, Hopper, or her sister Bridget, Goops like that are so much bother that they ought to dress each other. Amanda M. James. Amanda Minnie-Singer James. She called her sister horrid names. She called her brother names as well, so bad that I wouldn't dare to tell. It's shocking how a Goop will act. They have no manners, that's a fact. Susie Klein. Whenever I hear of puppy whine, I always think of Susie Klein. I think of how she hangs her head. She doesn't speak, she whines instead. Don't whine. If you don't speak right out, you're a Goop without a doubt. Roberto Lees. How thoughtless was Roberto Lees, for only thoughtless children tease. He teased a little pussycat. He teased a puppy, think of that. He even teased his sister too. I think he was a Goop, don't you? Annie A. Legrand. The queerest Goop in all the land was Annie Annabelle Legrand. She often said what wasn't true, which is an awful thing to do. But we are honest, you and I. We think it's wrong to tell a lie. Miss McAdoo. This is a Goop, Miss McAdoo. She never speaks when spoken to. When spoken to, she turns her eyes and never answers or replies. She hangs her head and sucks her thumb. You would think she was deaf and dumb. Isabel McClung. Do you ever stick your tongue out like Isabel McClung? No one but a Goop would show rudeness such as that, I know. If you are good, take my advice. Please don't do it, 'tisn't nice. Alexander B. McGiff. Young Alexander B. McGiff each day had a clean handkerchief. In spite of this, if you'll believe, he wiped his nose upon his sleeve. Nobody but a Goop would do it. His mother'd scold him if she knew it. Elias E. McGuff. Elias Ethelbert McGuff. Oh, he was rude and he was rough. He used to pinch, he used to poke, and called his rudeness just a joke. What made him plague his playmates so? He was a Goop and didn't know. Solomon McKim. I wonder if you ever meet the Goop who always scuffs his feet. He makes them drag along the floor as if they weighed a ton or more. Just think of Solomon McKim, and don't be slovenly like him. John D. Pell. When John D. Pell wants something done, do you think he asks of anyone? Oh no, he orders someone too, with "get my hat" or "tie my shoe." The Goops all say rude things like these, but you, of course, say if you please. Esau Pound. When you're finished with your play, do you put your toys away? Do you put away your hat, your coat, and things like that? Or are you like Esau Pound? He's a Goop who leaves things round. Eliza Puddingfoot. If you should ask why Rosamund Elizabeth Puddingfoot was shunned, I'd say because she always cheat in every game so she could beat. Only a Goop would act that way and be dishonest in her play. Amelia Pratt. I won't, says Amelia Pratt. I won't do this, I won't do that. Now isn't won't the naughtiest word that anyone has ever heard? Now isn't that the rudest way a Goop should answer? I should say. Jumbo Ray. No children ever like to play with such a Goop as Jumbo Ray, for he will snatch and grab the toys of all the little girls and boys. Though Jumbo loves to fuss and fight, you know of course it isn't right. Annie F.R. Riff. Annie Fanny Ruffle Riff. Hear her snuffle, hear her sniff. Hear her sniffle, hear her snuff. See her, well, I've said enough. You have seen her, I suppose, the Goop who seldom blows her nose. Felicia Rops. Funny how Felicia Rops always handles things in shops. Always pinching, always poking, always feeling, always stroking. Things she has no right to touch. Goops like that annoy me much. Percival B. Sloop. Just look at Percival B. Sloop, a most unpleasant sort of Goop. He pokes his fingers in his nose and wipes his hands upon his clothes. He does a lot of things that you, I know, would never, never do. Susie Smolt. Oh, says little Susie Smolt, it's someone else's fault. She began it, she's to blame. She's the one that spoiled the game. So Goops always blame each other. Do you own up your fault to mother? Sperry Spruks. Have you ever chanced to look at a torn and dirty book? At a book that's ragged, soiled, ink and finger marked and spoiled? Who has done it? Sperry Sprooks. He's the Goop that spoils the books. Uriah Stead. I never saw Uriah Stead when he was glad to go to bed. There was always one thing to do before he could take off a shoe. The little Goop was always late. I hope you don't procrastinate. Rosie L.V. Trude. Rosie Lily Violet Trude always messes with her food, always plays with her potatoes, meat and gravy and tomatoes. Callers who are asked to dine, knowing she's a Goop decline. And that is the end of the Goop directory of juvenile offenders, famous for their misdeeds and serving a salutary example for all virtuous children. This was done with a lot of guest writers, but the concept and drawings are all Gelette Burgess's work. And I'm going to look for more to do, just for fun. Thank you, and good night.